Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Not London Narratives. Guys, today is a good day because today I felt delightful, I felt excited, I felt good, and I felt really proud of my team for the first time in a while again because I felt proud and comfortable in the Burnley game and the PSG game, especially the PSG game. Felt a lot of pride. Against Burnley, I felt comfortable when we're in the lead, and that I wouldn't say is something that I felt in a while. So I found that very interesting. So as we all know, Tottenham Hotspur beat Manchester City 2-0, and this result came as a shock to a lot of people, but not me. I spoke about how after watching City, I had a feeling that Manchester City weren't necessarily as good as everybody was making them out to be. And I think a lot of people that watched that Wolves game didn't necessarily watch the Wolves game. Because if you did, you would have seen that Wolves scored through City plenty times. And when Wolves were able to do that, the problem was that Wolves were always offside or just couldn't finish their dinner. And that is why Manchester City were able to hang in there. And then after Manchester City hung in there, a moment of quality, and I take nothing from him in any way, shape, or form, but an absolute freak moment of quality from Tijani. He beats two people, beats the press, gives a chip pass over the defense to Rico Lewis. Rico Lewis squares it to Haaland and 1-0. They are winning. And next thing, again on the counter, 2-0, and it's game over at that point in time. Yao Pedro loses the ball. They collect the ball, counter attack, 2-0. Do you get what I'm saying? And I said Yao Pedro, Yao Gomez, sorry. And it was a very interesting game because after coming after watching that game, I said on my channel, I don't think City is that good. I said exactly as I had predicted that Manchester City, Liverpool, these teams are going to struggle in the first few months because when you sign a lot of players, and thank you for the like, by the way. I don't know who that is, but thank you so much for the like, and it's nice to see you here. You guys can leave comments, let me know your thoughts on the game. But yeah, when you see like a lot of changes happening in a team, a lot of the time, a lot of people think football transfers are just plug and play, and it doesn't necessarily work like that. Of recent times, yes, it has, but majority of the time, it doesn't work like that. Do you get what I'm saying? So, Manchester City and Liverpool both look shaky to me, and I expected that, and that's why I predicted Arsenal to win the league. I'm a Spurs fan. I might get my prediction wrong, but based on what I'm seeing and based on the fact that Arsenal have the least changes, I predicted them to win the league. And I predicted in my last Spurs review, I think that I actually did predict 2-0. I said it felt more like a 1-0 game, but I said, okay, let me just go with 2-0. I believe Tottenham Hotspur are going to keep a clean sheet. And I seemed football locker room banter, top of the league. I'm very happy for your team. Honestly, as a football fan, yes, I am happy for your team. As a Spurs fan, I would have loved to stay there for longer, but it doesn't really mean much to me right now. I think we have bigger problems than being top of the league. As long as we have the points, no problem. No problem for me. I think we have bigger problems. We have transfers to make, and time is running out. So yeah, I think that I expected this result. I didn't necessarily know how Thomas Frank was going to approach it because at first I was going with a 4-3-3, exactly what we went with today. But then I've forgotten who it was that convinced me that a 3-5-2 would be better. And I was like, yeah, that makes sense because that would be easier to close the gaps. But then what I saw today was that sorry, I just saw football lockers comment and that's why I'm smiling. I'll go through that. I will respond to that. But yeah, what I saw today was we didn't even go there to pack the bus. Like this was no PSG game. PSG went there to get the result. We're not able to get the results because the people that were coming off the bench were lower quality and PSG have so much quality. So the difference in that game was the subs. When we brought on the subs, we lost the game. But today we went there going to press, going to win, going to press Manchester City. And that is very evident in the stats. So let me show you. City versus Spurs. Okay, so let me share my screen and show you guys. What? That is a very good username. I will come to this. I will come to this comments. I will come to all your comments. I'll come to all your comments. But it's nice to have you guys here. I'm very grateful to every single one that's liked the video. I'm grateful for every single one that is watching currently. And if you're new here, welcome to Not London Narratives. What? I've never actually seen you here before. So it's nice to see you here. Welcome. So yeah, if you look at the stats, Manchester City had and that possession reduced as the game went on because we're winning. So we just had to protect our lead. But if you look at shots on goal, we had more shots than Manchester City. Mind you, the game was at the Etihad. And I felt very strange today. Um, okay, I'm like I said, I'll come to the comments. I'll come to the comments. But I felt very strange today watching watching City fans walk out of the stadium because what do you expect? There's been a lot of change happening. We know City are not the same team without Rodri, and there's a lot of change happening. You don't just put players in a team and expect everything to just be in sync from the get go. Like, do you get what I'm saying? Like, I thought it was very weird, especially considering what this team has done for majority of them in the last couple of years. They've won a treble, they've won a lot of trophies. I felt like that was very ungrateful, to be honest. So yeah, if you look at this, so we dominated in shots on goal. We had more shots on targets. We scored 2 goals. Could have had more, to be fair, if we had better attackers. And like, even with how the fact that we went to the PSG game coming out thinking, oh, if we had better attackers, we would have been better against PSG. We went to the Burnley game thinking, oh, if we had better attackers, we would have been better. PSG, we gave them a very good game. The subs let us down, but that's fine. They're kids, they're growing. Manchester City today, we could have put like 4-5. We got away with some, the Haaland header, the Mamouche one for Pedro Porro. We got away with some, to be fair. But you do against City. But they also got away with some today. And thinking the fact that we got away with that game, or from that game, thinking that if we had better attackers, this could have been more, is really exciting, especially considering the only person that people will say is or should be the quality of a top six team in our front line right now is Kudus. And if you look at our midfield, our defense, they're very good. I think they're very good. I think they're solid. I think they're midfielders that we could add to have different profiles in our midfield. We could have an Akliush in midfield. We could have a Savio in front and things like that. But I think that very combative, strong midfield that we've had, and Bentancur looking at his very technical best, which we haven't seen in a long time under Conte. To be honest, we haven't seen that Bentancur that I saw today since under Conte. That Bentancur that we're saying, oh my God, this guy's our best midfielder, and he was contributing defensively. He was looking like phenomenal beside Højbjerg before the Leicester injury where they battered us 6-3, destroyed our goal defense, destroyed us on the day, and also took out our best midfielder, which ruined our whole season. But yeah, I found that very interesting as well. So yeah, our possession, we didn't have too many because, like I said, we were in the lead. So we just had to protect our lead in the second half. We had a fair amount of passes against the City side. Pass completion, obviously, City have better players. So they had more fouls. We're disrupting the game when we could to stop their flow. We made City look quite average. And I have some notes here that I'm going to talk about. Yeah, to be fair, we got a couple yellow cards. You remember, yellow card was never a card. Richarlison lost his head a bit. Players lost their head today. And yeah, we had a few cards. City had a few corners. Shows how well we defended considering they had less shots than us. So I find that very interesting. So yeah, I wrote today in my notes, Van de Ven was good, Spence was top. Oscar Bob, that we all know is a very, 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 and I cannot even, I need to continue to say, very, 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 very good dribbler. I mean, they're getting rid of Savio because Oscar Bob is back. And Savio is a top, 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 top dribbler as well. So that should tell you the levels. I thought Pedro Porro at first was very shaky, especially at the beginning of the game, but as the game went on, he grew into the game. He improved. I thought that the midfield today was class. I thought the midfield today was class. Honestly, I thought the attack looked shaky at the start, but then they grew into it um, after the first goal. They grew into it and they looked more dangerous. They grew in confidence, and we could tell that we looked like we could trouble City after that first goal. I thought Richarlison was what I would call a nuisance. He was pressing, he worked hard, and he did his best. And that's one thing I always say about Richarlison. Richarlison might not necessarily be the best player in the world. No matter how bad Richarlison is, there are games where Richarlison couldn't control a ball. There are games that we've had like that. But one thing you can never go out of a game saying is that Richarlison was lazy. Richarlison didn't work hard for the team. You can never, ever, ever say that about Richarlison. And that's one thing he will always give you: hard work for the team. He would work hard and run his socks off for the team. That's one thing he will always give you. I thought Kudus as well today, even though he didn't necessarily have a goal or an assist today. Let me just make sure. Let me check. So assisted by nobody, and this was assisted by Richarlison. So yeah, he didn't necessarily have a goal or an assist today. He worked hard for the team. He did his job, and that's one thing that I would always praise Kudus for as well. Players, very few players like Kudus and Griezmann. I love them. I love them, and they're a manager's dream. And the reason why these players are a manager's dream, because if you looked at Cherky, if you look at Cherky, when Cherky is on the ball, you love Cherky. But when Cherky is off the ball, you see Pep losing his mind because he doesn't put in the hard yards defensively. Brennan Johnson as well, he's not even of that ability of on the ball, but he hardly puts in the hard yards today. And I saw that again today. You have likes of Mbappe, Vini, but Griezmann and Kudus, they're like unicorns. They're unicorns. And the thing about these unicorns is they have ability. They have so much ability on the ball, but they also put in the hard yards defensively, and that was exactly what Kudus was for us. Okay, so there are a couple comments here, so let me go through them before I continue. So he said, "You're only saying we're going to win the league so we can jinx it." No, I do not. I would not say that just so I can jinx it. I genuinely believe that. I genuinely believe that Arsenal's team, in contrast to Manchester City and Liverpool. If you think of Liverpool, they have potentially Gueye coming into the lineup, maybe because they would like to integrate him, considering Konate might be leaving. So that's one. But maybe let's even say Gueye doesn't come into the starting lineup. You have Kekesh, you have Frimpong, you have Verts, you have Ekitike that will move to the left and replace Gakpo if Isak should come. So that's 5 starting lineup players. That is basically a different team from the team that won the league last season. And I think that those players have to learn each other's movements, have to adapt. We saw a lot of time when Liverpool played in the Community Shield, one player is in front, one player is behind Van Dijk, their high line and everything. They have to learn. They have to adapt to each other. They have to adapt to each other's off the ball movement and things like that. Manchester City, you have the likes of Aït-Nouri coming in, potentially a right back. You have potentially Vadio moving to left centre back. I don't know. Currently, they're going with John Stones, but potentially Vadio moving to left centre back. He has been playing left back all his while at City. So Aït-Nouri is replacing him there. So Aït-Nouri as well. You have Tijani. You have Nico Gonzalez that played over 700 minutes last season and he came in January. That's very little. So he's basically a new signing as well. He has been playing in the number 6 to replace Rodri. You have Trafford. Even if it's not going to be Trafford, it's going to be Gigi Donnarumma, John Ligi. And I think that is also a new player. You have potentially Cherky coming into the lineup. You have potentially Rodrigo if Savio goes. So there are lots of changes on that side. Arsenal, in contrast, at the time when I predicted them to win the league, they only had Zubimendi and Gyökeres coming into the lineup. Now they have Eze, but that's still 3. And that is still less than what others that they are meant to be competing with are doing. For Chelsea, you have Hato coming in. You have not too much actually, but I don't think that Chelsea right now are ready to win the league. So the people that I think are ready to win the league, except if there's an injury crisis to everybody else, Chelsea have incredible depth, and that is a scenario where I see them winning the league because they have incredible depth. But naturally, if everybody stays fit, I think that Arsenal, I think this season is going to be about 5 margins, and that is the minute reason why I think that they are going to have the advantage. And if you looked at the game against Liverpool versus Crystal Palace, the reason why Crystal Palace were able to beat Liverpool is because Crystal Palace had stayed longer as a team and already understood what they were trying to do. than Liverpool. And if you think back to the Arsenal versus Manchester United game, even though Manchester United played way better than Arsenal, they were able to get the results because the defenders knew what they were doing, and this is not their first time playing together. They understood each other, they knew how to work together, and that was the little detail that saw them through that game. So I think this season is going to be minute details. You said I'm onto you. You can be onto me, man. You can come here every day 10 p.m. and watch my content. If you're new here, please subscribe, please turn on post notifications, and leave a like, please and thank you. It really does help the channel and helps push the content to other people. So yes, thank you for that. He said, LOL. I don't know what you're talking about there. Sorry, I didn't reply to your comments in real time. You said, well done to Spurs, though. Obviously, yes, of course, well done to Spurs. I think that I said earlier that a lot of teams are going to surpass a lot of people's expectations this season. I think Manchester United is going to do well, but that's just my opinion. I think Manchester United, with the quality they have, and I predicted it since, I've been saying it since, I'm scared of Manchester United. I think Manchester United, with the quality they have, with likes of Bruno, Sheshko, Cunha, Mbuemo, Casemiro, Euro, and Co. playing one game a week when other people are going to be playing midweek, especially in the Champions League where you can't necessarily drop down the quality. I think Manchester United playing one game a week are going to do well. If you think back to the seasons that Newcastle United have finished in the top four, the season that Tottenham Hotspur finished fifth under Ange in his first season was because Tottenham Hotspur were not in Europe. And I think, if anything, Manchester United could even nick a cup as well. But yeah, Newcastle as well, the first season that they finished in the Champions League position was because they were playing one game a week. Last season as well, they didn't finish in a European spot because of Manchester United won the FA Cup, and they ended up finishing a Champions League spot as well. So I think that Manchester United this season are going to finish in a Champions League spot. But that's just my opinion. What do I know? We'll see at the end of the season. He said Pape is going to win Young Player of the Season. He has been crazy. Let's actually check Pape Matasar's age. Pape Matasar age. So Papa Matassa is actually 22 years of age, so he could actually win it. I do hope that you're right. I do hope that Papa Matassa is able to stay consistent over the course of the season. I think that he has had some moments in his Spurs shirt. He has had some ups and downs, but as we all know, he's a young kid. He's still growing. He's still learning, and he would have ups and downs as we would expect. Welcome to the channel. What is nice to see you here. I love your username. What with a question mark? I wonder where that came from. It would be nice to know. So let me see. Let's see what SofaScore gave Pape Matasar for his match rating so far. Let's see how highly they think he has done. Yeah, if you can see here, his match ratings are up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. Like I said, he's still a young kid, he's still learning, and he would have that. But this year, about to turn 23, coming into that age where you're no longer young. And this is actually very crazy, by the way. To give him a 6.95 over the two games is mad. Honestly, that is mad. Honestly. For the Super Cup, they gave him 7.0. That is mad, honestly. 6.95. What a joke. What an absolute joke from SofaScore. I find that very interesting. So yeah, I want to get you on my Sunday panel if you're interested. Okay, so how do I contact you? Do you want me to what time on Sunday actually, to be fair? What time on Sunday, Football Locker? And do you want me to go to one of your videos to leave a comment? How do I contact you privately so you can contact me? So yeah, let me know. I don't mind that. I would be very interested, to be fair. So thank you for that. Care said, great watch. Thank you so much. I don't know if you're talking about me or you're talking about Tottenham Hotspur, but either way, thank you so much. It's nice to see somebody talking about our team in a positive light for a start, because last season we were everything but a great watch. So yeah, I have United, Liverpool, Chelsea. I have no good Tottenham fans. Also, if you ever put the link in the chat, one day I'll jump on. Hello. Okay, I will one day. So right now I am using YouTube Live. I'm no longer using StreamYard because I'm using a free version of StreamYard, and it has a cap to how many hours you can stream on it. So right now I'm using um YouTube Live because that is free, but YouTube Live doesn't allow you display comments on the screen. YouTube Live doesn't allow you have guests on. So maybe when I switch back to StreamYard, when it resets, I will drop the link in the chat for people to come on. So yeah, I know Shanta also said he would like to come on. So yeah, I don't mind that. I don't mind that, and I look forward to that football locker. You said great watch. Okay, Care said great watch. Care, it's nice to see you here again. Thank you for coming back. I'm very grateful to you. Care said Bob failed dispense test. Honestly, how many wingers have failed dispense test? And it's very painful that today it wasn't Doku versus Spence, because I don't know if you guys remember, but Doku and Spence played together at Ren. And I think after our game last season, I can't remember what game, and I think there was this whole thing on Instagram where Spence was talking about how you're lucky I wasn't the one facing you and this and that. And Doku was like, "Oh, next time we meet and this and that." And I found that very interesting. And I had looked forward to them meeting again today. But unfortunately, Spence was on Oscar Bob. So yeah, City is going to finish third still. Yes, yes, yes. That is where I predicted them to finish. I think no, I predicted them second actually. I think I predicted Arsenal to win the league, Manchester City second, Chelsea third, and Liverpool fourth. Yes, I know that is crazy, but that was my prediction. So yeah, let me go back to my notes here. So I said our press was the same as PSG. So I noticed a pattern in our press, which is that today was quite different in the sense that today we actually did press them when they were trying to play out the back, but a lot of the time when we're sitting back, we sort of let their centre backs have the ball. But once the ball got to their left back or their right back, we pressed, which was very interesting because those are the players that you would assume it really gets dangerous from. And the thing about having centre backs on the ball is that if centre backs are going to play the ball long, let's say they're trying to go direct to Erling Haaland, Tottenham Hotspur now have a different team in the sense that for so many years we've been very small, very lightweight, but now we have men in our team. We have likes of Kudus that's incredibly strong for his size, like very deceptively strong, incredibly strong. Maybe it's that African food he has been taking. But yeah, he's very strong. Jet Spence, he's tall as well. He's strong. We have Paulinia in that side. We have Papi Matassa that he has this slight frame, but he's quite strong, at least to a decent level. We have Van de Ven, we have Romero, so we're getting stronger as a team. We have Richarlison, we have Solanke that was strong when he came to Tottenham, but maybe playing with James Madison too much. He has learned to fall on the floor for everything now. So yeah, I think we have players that are quite strong, and I think that Matistel as well. When he came into the Premier, was quite lightweight. I think he has been going to the gym. He's now looking more physical. I know he didn't play today, but yeah, he's looking more physical and he's looking like he wants to go into a challenge now. So I find that very interesting. Um, I predicted this win. Like I said, I didn't think that City were anything special against Wolves. I thought that the result was very deceitful. And I can show you guys the data as well. The stats, sorry. Let me show you guys. So if you look at our stats, we had a couple shots against them. And let me show you how it was against um Man City versus Wolves. Okay, so yeah, here it is. Like I said, City blew them away based on goal scoring, but early on they had a lot of shots, they had possession, they were in the game, they had a fair amount of passes, they had a lot of offsides. Their strikers were offsides all the time, and that was the reason why they couldn't beat Manchester City because they didn't have the finishing touch. And today, somehow from somewhere, Tottenham Hotspur found that and were able to get the job done. That was the difference between us and Wolves. And I said it, a lot of people came out saying, "Oh, City are back and City are this." And I left there thinking, did we watch the same game, or am I just somebody who looks for faults in things? And today, watching the way we look so comfortable against Manchester City, we made them look bad, by the way. We made them look bad because even though they were like, I thought Wolves played better than them, but Wolves didn't have the quality to finish their dinner. And one moment of quality from Tijani, the whole game turned on his head. But even in that Wolves game, we still saw their quality. But today, nothing. They had nothing on Tottenham Hotspur today. Honestly, nothing on us. So yeah, I found that very interesting. I thought that James Trafford should have been given a red card. We did see he handled the ball outside the box, and he also, more importantly and more significantly to me, he need kudos on the stomach. Should have been a red. I thought they could have been given a pen with the Van de Ven mistake, and then he loses the ball, tries to recover, steps on Oscar Bob. That should have been a pen, but also the ref was an absolute joke. Even that goal, when we scored it, the first goal, I knew that thing wasn't offside. I could tell from looking at it, it wasn't offside. Also, aside from that, I thought the Romero yellow card was an absolute joke. He got the ball, and this ref should have been flogged after the game, honestly, because he didn't do well at his job. He should have been fined. The ref was very biased. Honestly, I don't even I don't know if I would say it was biased. I just don't think he was good. Like I just don't think he was good. And like there were lots of things that I think that VR as well. Like, okay, let's even say we live in a world where the ref somehow misses the Trafford hitting Kudus in the stomach thing. VR could have called his attention to it. Do you get what I'm saying? Like VR could have called his attention to it. The Pedro profile at the edge of the box as well. Maybe even that was even a pen as well. But to make up for it, Trafford gifted us the second goal. So I forgive him. I forgive him, and he can go on with his City career. He can play well against other people, but when it comes to top Spur, ain't no way, dog. Ain't no way. So yeah, I think our manager is a top manager, and he has shown that in the three games that we've seen. We've seen Tottenham Hotspur play incredibly well against Paris Saint-Germain, who are arguably, and in my opinion, the best team in the world right now. Now, don't get it twisted. And contrary to popular opinion, I don't think PSG is all that good. I think they were good based on the standard of last season because everybody had a drop off. Madrid was awful. I mean, Real Madrid went trophyless. Manchester City was awful. Liverpool were not complete, barely signed anybody, still had the likes of Darwin Nunez, missed a lot of chances. No, they didn't miss a lot of chances actually, but still had the likes of Darwin Nunez and Co. I thought the best teams, Arsenal were incomplete, PSG were the best team last season, and like the most complete, the most suitable, or the most complete and balanced. And they capitalized on that. So everybody thinks they're the best team in the world. But do I think that they actually are the best team in the world? No, I don't. And neither do I think Chelsea is the best team in the world. So yeah, just because they won the Club World Cup. No, I don't. I just think they were the best team in that year. And for that reason, Dembouz deserves the Ballon d'Or. And I hope he is not robbed like we've seen in previous seasons with likes of Lewandowski. I would argue, and I felt like he should have won it, Vinicius, and so many others. So yeah, I just hope Dembus isn't robbed. But yeah, sorry about that tangent. And all this that the manager has done. Sorry, I was talking about how he has played well against PSG, we played well against Burnley, and we played well against Manchester City as well. And I blame the board for us losing that PSG game. We could be sitting here with 2 wins and a trophy 3 games into Thomas Frank's tenure in a different universe. And that universe wasn't very far away, by the way. So yeah, and all this manager has been able to do without a left winger, without a left centre back slash left back. Some might argue a left back because Jed Spence is playing out of position. So a left back, he doesn't have a left centre back. He doesn't have a creative midfielder in that midfield. He's just having workhorses playing the likes of Pape Matasar, Bentancur, and Paulinia that will just graft out that win for you. They will grind it out and outwork and out physical, if that's even a word. Out physicalize, if that's even a word. I'm creating it. The opponent. So yeah, I find that very interesting that this manager is able to do that with what we have. And I know he has been saying that we we even if we're not able to sign anybody, we have a good squad and whatever. But I feel like if we go into this season and the transfer window closes on September 1st without us getting a creative midfielder, without us getting a left winger, I think eventually Tottenham Hotspur would be found out. I think that Thomas Frank can do 1 or 2 things, but there's only so much he can do with such limited options. And I feel like that could really disrupt the potential of this team. Because I feel like this team, if this board had maybe 60% efficiency, the people at the top could actually do their job. I feel like the ceiling for this Tottenham team, I feel like Tottenham under Thomas Frank are going to surprise a lot of people. And I've been saying this even before I started watching Thomas Frank. I did my research into him tactically and how he adapts, and I just thought that it was a good fit. And that's the key word, a good fit. It's the same thing I said with Maresca at Chelsea. Why Maresca might not be the best manager in the world, as a fit for Chelsea Football Club, it made sense. And that same feeling I have towards Thomas Frank as the Tottenham Hotspur manager, it does make sense as a fit on and off the pitch. In the sense of, this is a manager that knows the league, he knows what a quality signing is in the league. So unlike Ange Postecoglou that wanted the likes of a Brennan Johnson, and I know he scored again, he's one of my talking points here today. But unlike an Postecoglou who wanted likes of a Brennan Johnson, this is a man that knows that once he comes into this team, oh, Brennan Johnson cannot be my right winger, Mame Kudus coming. And even Brennan Johnson, now you're moved to the left. No, Brennan Johnson cannot be my left winger. Savio, please come in. Move Brennan Johnson back to the bench. So even that, and he's also a manager that you know that even if we live in a world where you're unable to get him signings, like the one we live in now, he's still able to get the result against Burnley, against City so far, and give a very good account of himself in the Super Cup against Paris Saint-Germain. So yeah, I thought that was very interesting. I'm loving for small Frank instead. So I saw this comment on somebody, some in the live chat in, I think we are, I've forgotten which channel, but I'm loving small Frank instead. So yeah, I'm really loving small Frank instead. So yeah, choo choo, everybody get on board. Kudus is actually made of bricks. Do you see his defensive work rate? Honestly, I know that this is not even like, I, I didn't think he was that strong. Like, I knew he was a good player. I didn't really watch West Ham because West Ham weren't the most interesting team to watch. But I didn't know he was that strong. He's incredibly strong. Like, and I can't put it into words how strong he is. He's incredibly strong. And I think that a lot of our players like Kulusevski needs to come body to him, because Kulusevski is also a player that needs to learn how to use his body the way Kudus knows how to use his body. I think that a lot of our players could learn a lot from the likes of Kudus. I was watching Paulinia today, and after the game, I was just watching the celebrations, watching the manager shake the players, shake everybody, shake the opponents, and I saw Yao Paulinia, and I just saw him walking and smiling, and I just thought to myself, Archie Gray has a lot to learn, doesn't he? He has a lot to learn from this guy. Top player. Top player. And one day, by God's grace, fingers crossed, that is going to be Archie Gray, looking like a man, an absolute unit, 6'3", with his muscle and his chest, just walking after we've just beaten Manchester City at the Etihad, just walking and feeling so good about himself. I felt so good watching Yao Paulinia, honestly, the number 6 that I have dreamed of for so long, honestly. Um, so yeah, Johnson defensive. How does Brennan Johnson do this thing? How does Brennan Johnson get away with this thing? Let me tell you, the stream that I was watching, yeah, the guys on commentary even complained about Brennan Johnson defensive. And I just started laughing because I was like, I knew I wasn't crazy. I knew I wasn't crazy. Brennan Johnson defensively, oh my God. This guy, he nearly cost us a goal today. And I can't remember who it was, but I know he nearly cost us a goal today because he didn't press. And I think that Thomas Frank realized that, yo, this guy wasn't pressing anymore. That's why he brought on Underbeck to replace him. Like, he wasn't pressing anymore after a while. And I found that very interesting. Brennan Johnson defensively, I, I get it. He scores goals, and I'm not going to deny that. But, like, defensively, nothing. Nothing. And also, like, today, he was on, for corners, he was on Ruben Diaz. And there was this moment, I don't know who did that, by the way. I don't know why you put someone as strong as Diaz with Brennan Johnson, by the way. That is incredibly insane. But I don't know why he was with Diaz. But there was a point where he was on Diaz, and we had a corner. And Diaz just had a free header. Free header. Nothing. Brennan Johnson defensively, not just even press, even from a corner. Nothing. And I think he used the back of his head to nod the ball, and maybe he thought he was more in a direction where he could just do this and the post was directly behind him, but it flies just past the post. And I'm like, Jesus Christ. And by that time, I think we are winning 2-0. That could have easily been 2-1 with City's quality. When it turns to 2-1, you dread what could potentially happen. But yeah, if you've come this far, if you're leaving a like, a lot of people have left in likes. Oh my god, I've gained 2 subs. Thank you. So we're 9 away from 100. Thank you so much to the 2 people who have subscribed. Please leave a like, please subscribe, please turn on post notifications. I'm here every day 10 p.m. I not only talk about Tottenham Hotspur, I talk about the top 9 clubs. You're probably wondering what I mean by top 9 clubs. I mean the traditional top 6: Newcastle United, Aston Villa, and West Ham United. So yeah, and maybe occasionally, if the gist is really hot, like this Nottingham Forest thing that is happening, and I'm absolutely hating on Nottingham Forest since the Gibbs White saga. But yeah, since this Nottingham Forest thing, potentially with Nuno leaving and Nuno fighting with Edu and Marinakis and Nuno coming out, I could potentially be doing a video on the likes of Forest. And to be fair to Forest, respect to them. I mean, Forest are a team that are on the up, as we've seen of recent. So yeah, they might be a team that might start creeping into our conversation soon enough. But let's see how they do this year. Um, so yeah, I thought that at moments today, even though we're able to, it was sort of better today. I thought that in the second half, we're more under pressure than the first, and I think that is because players get tired and then the manager doesn't necessarily have the quality to sub out players. So he doesn't really sub out players until later on. And I find that very interesting because this is not the first time we're seeing that happen. We saw it happen against PSG as well. And you might not notice it against an inferior opponent like a Burnley, but against the likes of a PSG, against the like of Man City, and we're going to be playing significantly better teams this season in the Champions League. So I guess that we're going to see that more often if we don't improve our squad. So yeah, that was something interesting that I noted down. I also thought that yeah, improved when the subs were made, but there's always room for improvement. There's always something you can do better. Frank learned a lot from the PSG game. Honestly, he did. He did. He learned a lot about our team. He learned a lot about these players' desires, their mentality. Like for us to go to that game and take PSG to, like we were winning, 80th minute it was 2-0 to Tottenham Hotspur. But then the likes of Archie Gray, Lucas Bergvall, Matistel, the babies basically come on, and we let go of the win. And that is not anybody's fault. I don't blame the kids. I blame the board for the fact that those kids are coming onto the pitch is the board's fault and their failure to back the manager. And until today, we're still in the same position we were in the PSG game. It's absolutely embarrassing. It's absolutely embarrassing. And you can't tell me that the likes of Liverpool have made at least 4 signings to their first team and Tottenham Hotspur have only been able to sign one player. We brought in Paulinia on loan, but we've only been able to sign one player in 2 months plus. It's an absolute joke, honestly. An absolute joke. Like I said, for some weird reason, I'm still calm. I don't know why I'm still calm. Maybe because I've had windows that way. I felt like were worse. I thought last year was absolutely the worst transfer window I've ever seen in my life at Tottenham Hotspur. Bringing in the likes of Archie Gray, bringing in the likes of Odobe, I couldn't comprehend it honestly, and I knew we were in for a very tough season because I'd seen enough from the previous season to know that this team, the starting 11 wasn't good enough, and there were players from the starting 11 that we needed to push to the bench. If you think to Arsenal, and I know a lot of top sports fans might dread me using this example, but if you think to Arsenal now, look at what they're doing. So they're bringing in likes of Iberici that pushes Gabriel Martinelli to the bench. They're bringing in the likes of Gyökeres that pushes Havertz to the bench. That's what you want to do. Tottenham Hotspur, on the other hand, have a Madison or have a Son or let's say Brennan and bring in an Odobe in recent years. We have a Bentancur, we bring in Archie Gray. When instead you should be bringing in Yao Polinia to push Bentancur to the bench. I'm just giving that as an example. The Bentancur I saw today, oh, he can stay in my team forever. Um, this Tottenham team has a lot of potential to come to top four, but I don't know how I'm going to manage to play Champions League games and playing games without having to use unreliable kit. I find that comment very interesting. I think that there are lots of holes in this Tottenham Hotspur team. Do I think that a Tottenham Hotspur side that is fit for the whole season can impress a lot of people? Yes, but my PTSD from previous seasons will not let me believe just yet that Tottenham Hotspur can compete for the top four. Currently, top eight, and that's because we're going to be playing in the Champions League, the FA Cup, the Carabao Cup, and the Premier League. Top eight. If you bring in signings, top six. Injury free, maybe top four, maybe top five, top five, top six, seven, top six, seven, injury free, top four, five. That's with signings. So yeah, and with signings, staying fit and everybody staying fit. By the way, that is a caveat. So yeah, but I think that there are teams, like I said, that are going to shock a lot of people. I think Tottenham Hotspur, like I said, I think I said this in passing. I didn't really bang on it. The team that I really was banging on was Manchester United, because a lot of people were downplaying them because of how bad they were last season. Manchester United likes of Tottenham Hotspur are going to surprise a lot of people. And I know flavor of the month right now is likes of maybe Arsenal. Flavor of the month is likes of Liverpool because of the number of new shiny signings that they have. Chelsea as well, because they just won the Club World Cup. They finished top four last season. They won the Conference League. And people are like, oh, they have the best midfield. They have Rich James. They have Cole Palmer, which is fair. That's flavor of the month as well. Manchester City with a lot of new signings, flavor of the month as well. But likes of Tottenham Hotspur, likes of United were awful last season and really are coming into this season with vengeance in their hearts. Are really going to impress and surprise a lot of people. I've always felt that, and I will continue to feel that way. And I think that potentially we could see, because if you look at a lot of teams have been beating each other, you can see a lot of teams with green and red, green and red, green and red. And I think that the mid-table teams are not as strong as last season. Yeah, yeah, I agree. Care. Chelsea's defense is very suspect, especially the goalkeeper as well. Is very suspect, and I feel like okay, yeah, they have Kukureya and they have Rhys James, but Rhys James is barely ever fit based on history. And if I'm going to do that for Richarlison, then it's only fair I do that for Rhys James. While fit is arguably one of the two best right backs in the world, in my opinion, him alongside Hakimi. Um, but yeah, Sanchez as well is a problem. So yeah, I think that Chelsea has holes, and defense wins you league titles because there are going to be games when your attack might not be working, but having been able to keep a clean sheet, and that's one thing that Thomas Frank has been banging on, and which is why I think that I can't remember the channel that I heard this on, but the person was talking about how. Let me show you guys our last season, oh, Tottenham Hotspur scored a lot of goals, and now we've lost Son, we've lost Madison, we've lost Kulu, and whatever, whatever. Is Tottenham Hotspur going to be able to do that? The difference between this season and last season is that we're conceding a lot of goals as well as we're scoring. We conceded more than we scored last season. That is the difference. This season, each goal is going to value or hold more value because we're going to keep more clean sheets. And so far, zero goals conceded in the Premier League. Let me show you. Us alongside Arsenal. Do you know what it means to be alongside Arsenal in goal difference? And considering that we're only one goal behind them, considering we played Manchester City, they played United and Leeds. So yeah, I think that's very impressive. And I think that the value of each goal this season is going to be much higher this season because each goal is going to mean more. Each goal is going to mean more. I'm very convinced that each goal this season is going to mean more. And that is why Tottenham Hotspur are going to be better than last season. Because this year, there are games that we might not necessarily have the ability to blow them out the park, especially with this current attack we have. But with that defense, with Romero, and that's the thing. I think under Thomas Frank, we're really going to see the potential of that defense because a lot of Tottenham fans, like a lot of people, I see a lot of football fans, because I watch a lot of YouTube to hear what a lot of people are saying and have different opinions and see what the public, like different people are saying basically, and how other people, majority of people feel. Because there are certain things that you might feel one way, but other people feel a different way. Like I just said, I didn't think Manchester City was anything special against Wolves, but a lot of people did. For instance, like, do you get what I'm saying? So little things like that. Um, but yeah, I see a lot of people on other YouTube channels. They talk about how sports fans, you people come out and you tell us. Let me show you. You tell us. So let me build our lineup. Um, Vicario. So you say, oh, Vicario is one of the best shot stoppers in the league. You say Van de Ven is one of the best, is the best left back in the left centre back in the league, or one of the best. You say Romero is one of the best centre backs in the world. You say Pedro Porro is one of the best full backs in the league. You say Udogi is arguably the best left back in the league. You say Rodrigo Bentancur is exceptional. You say Bissouma is this. Son is one of the best finishers in the league and whatever. But why don't you people ever finish up there? And I found that very interesting because now this season we are truly going to see the true potential of this Tottenham Hotspur team under this manager. Because now people are celebrating set pieces. Tottenham Hotspur is celebrating set pieces. I can't remember a time that we celebrated set pieces. Honestly, I can't. And that is an incredibly new feeling, in my opinion. So yeah, Papa Matassa, potentially one of the best up and coming midfielders in the league, potentially if used in a specific way, because I think he's quite limited right now because he's still very young. Bentancur. Bentancur, sorry. Bentancur is arguably one of the best midfielders in the league and whatnot. Shalanke is meant to be this. Richarlison Brazil is Brazil's number 9 and this and that. But yeah, this season, I think we're going to see the true capabilities of this team because this man, one thing he knows how to do is milk every ounce of quality a team has. And we've seen him overachieve with Brentford. So why not do it as well with Tottenham Hotspur? And I think he will. People from other teams don't realize that when Van de Ven and Romero were bare fit, we have 68 percentage win percentage. I think that the thing is, when Romero and Van de Ven are both fit, yes, we do. But how many times are they fit? The sample size is so small because they both actually always find ways to miss games. Either is Romero early on based on getting red cards or whatever, or injuries, Van de Ven injuries, Romero injuries. There's always something. They always find a way to be unavailable. So the sample size is so small, and I don't know if we can make too much of it. That is why I don't necessarily like go back on what they say and debate it because I'm like, I don't understand where you're coming from. But this year, fingers crossed, they are able to stay fit and truly show everybody their quality. And I think that this whole talk about how Van de Ven, a lot of people have been saying, oh, Van de Ven plays well in a high line, in an ant system, how we use him there is playing to his strengths and whatever, and bang, 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 bang. I think this season, so far, Van de Ven has been showing everybody he's actually a good defender, like we all thought he was. And one thing that he's showing under Thomas Frank that I didn't even know he had in his locker, and I didn't see under Ange, is winning headers. This guy is 6'4", and I didn't think that he was combative enough in the air. So he was the kind of defender that is wait for the ball to land on the ground and then chase it and then go and win it back, or slide tackle or whatever. We've seen that, but now I think we are going to see a different side. Okay, Kier says Frank's tactics will keep Van de Ven from getting injured. So I did notice that against the likes of a Burnley, Van de Ven was actually sprinting back a few times. And I found that very interesting. Maybe it's because we played a higher line to press them back because Burnley we are a superior team to Burnley, but the likes of PSG, the likes of Manchester City, there was nothing like that. So I found that very interesting. And I'm hoping that we get a left centre back / left back because that would really help us rotate and ease the pressure of Van de Ven and help him trust his body. Because I think he needs to grow trust in his body as well. Like if you guys think back to HK, Hurricane, there was this period at Tottenham where he was always having ankle injuries, and we sort of stopped him from pressing. And then he started to trust his body more, and then he went for like 2, 3 seasons without actually getting injured. So yeah, I think that that's going to be very, very interesting. So just finding ways to ease the pressure of him. I heard that they changed his running style as well to ease like the pressure of his hamstrings and things like that. So yeah, little things like that and little advantages, I think. Who do you think is currently the most underrated Tottenham player? Most underrated. I honestly don't think that anybody in our team is underrated. If anything, I think some of our players are overrated. I don't think anybody in our team is underrated. I think that Udogi, from what we've seen or what we saw when he first came before and did whatever he did to him, looked like a very promising talent, but of late, not so much. I think if I'm to, funny enough, I do have somebody that I think is underrated. And this is something that might seem very controversial because I've seen a lot of Tottenham fans talk about how this guy isn't good enough for Tottenham Hotspur. We shouldn't play him. I was very angry with him in preseason because I was having a conversation with one of my friends and I was telling him, why does it feel like some of these footballers, I care more about their careers than they do? Like Brennan Johnson, after the first season under Ange, he spent his summer going on holiday. I follow him on Instagram, so I see his posts, and I'm like, shouldn't you be training on your dribbling? Like, why do I care more about your career than you do? And the player, and that's what one thing that has impressed me with Matisse. Because last season, one thing I saw about Matisse is physically he was underprepared for the Premier League. But now he's going into duels. He looks like he has eaten, he has added some weight. He's going into duels now. He's bodying people. He's trying to be more physical and things like that. So I find that very interesting. But the player that I think is the most underrated at Tottenham Hotspur, funny enough, is Mikey Moore. I think that Mikey Moore is really talented, and I think that technical ability wise, he's ready to play in the Premier League. Not like a starter, but coming on like the likes of Odobe and the likes of Matisse, I think he's ready. But the part where I struggle with him is his physicality. So there are lots of games that we've seen him get bullied. Off the top of my head, and most memorable was after that Europa League game he had, he started against Palace and they ate him alive physically. And which is why, like I said, I was pissed off with him in preseason because he came back in preseason and I was fuming because I was still seeing him physically underprepared. So, what were you doing in the summer? Why does it feel like I'm taking your career more seriously than you are? I don't like that. And that is not what I want to see from my player. So yeah, I want to see players that just want to get better and better and better and better and better every single time. And I didn't feel that way, considering the fact that I didn't feel like I felt like this was a very obvious weakness of his, and he could have done something about it, at least improved physically wise. But no, he hasn't. Like if you look at the likes of Wanieri, let me check for Wanieri. I looked at him today when he was coming on for Arsenal after the Odegaard injury, and bro, this guy has six packs. Let me show you people. Look at his physicality, his body. He's he's how old, by the way? He's 18, by the way. He's 18 years of age. Like, do you get what I'm saying? So this guy looks physically prepared, like he can handle it. Can you see? He can handle it. But likes of Mikey Moore, not so much. And that really pisses me off. I just saw another one again. Look at his arm. His arm and look at Saka's arm. I know the picture isn't loading very well. I don't know why, but you can see their arms. He's 18. He was 17 in this picture. He was probably 17. I don't even know how old, but look at his arm. He looks like a man. He looks ready. So yeah, that is something that's very interesting. And that's the player that I think that is the most underrated player at Tottenham Hotspur. I think that a lot of people sleep on him because a lot of the time he's unable to impact games, and he's unable to impact games because he's not physically ready. So a lot of the times he gets bullied. But once this guy grows and becomes bigger. And I think it's not just him as well, Achigre as well. Like I think they need to learn from Baliba how to keep a ball. And Baliba is so small, but he has this small, stout, Shakiri like physique. Do you get what I'm saying? And like I feel like a lot of our players need to bulk up. Like you look at Bayern players, and I remember that whole period when everybody was talking about the likes of um, Goretzka, shirtless. We saw where's that famous picture? I think this is it. This is the famous picture. We showed the likes of Alfonso Davies, shirtless. A lot of Bayern players were looking like absolute units. Like, do you get what I'm saying? And I think that a lot of our players need to go to the gym. Baliba is 5'10". Yeah. Okay, that's not very short, actually. That's not short. Thank you for that. I didn't know that. But he looks small. It looks very small, actually. It looks very small. But yeah, Alfonso Davies as well. They were all looking like tanks at Bayern. Remember Lewandowski as well. They were all looking like tanks. Let me show you guys. Of our players, if we want to go to that next level, have to build up muscle. They have to build up muscle. And the sooner we do that, the better it is for us. Because if you think to the likes of, I always say this thing that what makes the likes of Manchester City and Arsenal, the likes of Liverpool so good is that Salah, as small as Salah is, let me show you Salah. He's so strong. This is Salah. He's so strong. Like these guys are so strong. And the thing about these guys is if you want to play based on technical ability or whatever, they have players to do that. But if you're playing against the likes of an Everton that may not necessarily have the ability, yeah, Bergval as well. Bergval has really worked on his body. I listened to Ange last season and he spoke about how he spends a lot of time with Kulu and Kulu spends a lot of his time in the gym. So Bergval naturally spends a lot of his time in the gym as well. So Bergval has been working on his physicality. But if you think to this Liverpool, the likes of Manchester City, the likes of Arsenal as well, the thing about these teams is that if you want to play technical football, they have technical footballers. If you want to play physical football, they also have physical footballers. So the likes of an Everton, there are lots of times that we used to see Everton in the past where Everton might not necessarily have the best players technical ability wise, but they have such strong players and they physically dominate you. But you can't do that to Man City because if you want to do that, they have the likes of Rodri, they have the likes of Haaland, they have the likes of Diaz, John Stones, Ake, just big men, Akonji, they're just so big in that place. And they're just so big. Like Kovacic as well is so strong. They're just so strong. Kevin De Bruyne they had, like they're just so strong. So any type of football they can play it with you. Like, do you get what I'm saying? So I find that very, very, very interesting. So yeah. So yeah, clean sheets, clean sheets. I've spoken about clean sheets. And I thought today, when I was watching everybody shaking and hugging after the match, I saw a lot of how do I put it? A lot of happiness. The squad looked very happy and together. And that is a contrast to how I felt they would be feeling after this game. And Thomas Frank made a statement today. He made a statement today that I felt was a very, very bold one. He said today, Thomas Frank, I'm falling in love with this club. And that made my heart sink because we are also falling in love with this manager slowly but surely. And I'm telling you, people, the ceiling with this man is top. Honestly, it is top. And only God knows, only God in heaven knows the potential of this team under this manager. Um, so yeah, I think we're building something very special. I thought that today defensive set pieces, except from the one that I said that Brennan Johnson was marking Ruben Diaz and he did rubbish. I thought we looked quite comfortable from set pieces. I thought defensive set pieces we looked very good. Attacking set pieces we have improved as well. And I think that City are big, but we're big now as well. Like we're big now, and that's why we're able to dominate um, the likes of a PSG that are a very small but technical team from set pieces. So I found that very interesting. Like we're big now. Like we have the likes of Yao Polinia. that is 6'3". We have the likes of Mickey Van de Ven, 6'4". Romero is like 6'1" or 6'2". Udogi is like 6'1". Spence is like 6'6" or 6'1". Papa Matasai is not small as well. Rodrigo is not small as well. Richarlison is not small as well. Solanke is not small as well. Kevin Danso, Bergval, Archie Gray is not short as well. These guys need to feel him. I think Matistel is also 6 feet tall. Also, so we're growing, we're big, we're growing in height. We're really getting rid of the likes of Brian Hill minus Solomon, and we're bringing in taller players. Yumi Son as well. I know Yumi Son was actually 6 or 6'1", but he looks very small because he never used to jump for headers. Never, Son, never. He never used to take that risk. He doesn't play with his head. Never. Never. Yeah, Thomas Frank has a football friend. I think he has a football brain, sorry, and a half, in my opinion. And there's something very interesting that I spoke about last season. So let me go back to Liverpool last season. So I'm making reference to Liverpool because it was Liverpool that I used this example of when I was talking about Annie Slot. So I spoke about how a manager of a certain caliber, yeah, can have a team, manager can have a team of a certain caliber, and that team might not necessarily be the best team in the world. That team might not necessarily be anything special. If you think back to Arne Slot last season now, while Liverpool challenged for the Premier League last season, I don't think that they had a team that was capable of winning the Premier League. But they were able to challenge for the Premier League. Last season, by last season, I'm talking about their last season under Jurgen Klopp. But last season, which was the season that just ended, we saw them go to a whole new level, win the league with likes of Nunez and Cole. Like last season, they competed for the league, but once Salah stopped scoring, Nunez couldn't hit the Bando, Hakpo, and all these other players let them down. So yeah, I think that is one example of the manager taking the team to a whole new level. But now, and Slot has his own team and is able to elevate that team. An example of a manager dragging down the level of a team is, I know this is a bit harsh considering all the things I've said about Arsenal, but Arteta. I think Arsenal have been at the level of winning at least one trophy in the last few years, even if it's a Carabao Cup, and they've not been able to win anything. Another example that I can think of the top of my head as well might seem harsh to people, but we all have different opinions on this, is Pochettino at Tottenham. He should have won at least one trophy with that squad he had. Another example that I can think of a manager elevating the squad or the team to a level that is beyond the team's level is this season here. When we finished fourth with Antonio Conte when he came in January. We finished fourth with the likes of Eric Dyer, the likes of Davison Sanchez, Ben Davies, a Finnish Hugo Lloris, Emerson Royale, um, Sesen Young, Hoybier, all these players that we've all chased out of this club now, considering or saying that they are not good enough. This manager was able to finish in the top four with them. And that's how good a manager Conte was, in my opinion. The best manager we've ever had in our history, in my opinion. The following season, we finished eighth. But when Conte left, while the live table was on, when we're still winning that Southampton game 3-1, we're third on the table, on the live table. When we drew and dropped, considered 2 goals and ended up drawing 3-3, we dropped to fourth. So when Conte left us, we're fourth. When Conte left us, we're fourth. So that is an example of the manager dragging the level of the team. Now, what am I trying to drive at? This Tottenham Hotspur team, like I said, let me show you people. This Tottenham Hotspur team, in no world should we be taking PSG to drawing with PSG and taking PSG to penalties. And if anything, some might argue we should have won that game if not for the board not giving the manager players. In no world should Tottenham Hotspur be scoring 3 goals without a creative midfielder. Without a creative midfielder, in no world should we be able to do that. In no world should Tottenham Hotspur be going to Manchester City without Heung-min Son, without Madison, without Kulusevski, and beating them away from home 2-0. In no world. If you think back to a lot of times when we've beaten Manchester City, it has been Son, 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 Son. Son has always been there. But now we're going there without these players and we're still getting a result. You know what should happen. And that is in itself an example of a manager elevating the level of the club. If you think back to Brentford, let me show you people again. He did the same thing at Brentford. If you think back to Brentford, you know what, based on their wage budget and considering a lot of the teams that we've seen coming to the Premier League and go straight back down, Brentford looks like an absolute miracle. And it's just almost frank. In no world should Brentford be finishing 10th in the Premier League, 56 points, only 5 points off Brighton. Incredible. Incredible. Absolutely incredible. In no world should that be happening. But that is an example of the manager elevating the level of the club. In no world should Ivan Toney have a ban. Ivan Toney have a ban. Brentford have a lot of injuries, and Brentford still not get relegated from the Premier League. If anything, they finished quite clear of the relegation places. In no world, with all the injuries, they had injuries that season. They had Ivan Toney out for majority of the season. He was their star man the previous season when they finished ninth as well. Yeah, he was their star man in this season, and they did without him. In no world should things like this be happening. In no world. This was Brentford's first season in the Premier League, I believe. 13th. Abi, let me check. I don't think they were here in 2020. Yeah, 13th in the first season. And we've seen a lot of teams come straight back. These teams, I think Bonnie was already here. Or Watford, I can't remember which one, but two of these teams came with Brentford. The following season, I think all the teams that came up went back down. No, Leeds went back down that season. I think this was that forgotten that very gung ho manager, Bielsa season as well. Leicester City shockingly went down that season as well, but Southampton, I think they came up that season and went back down. I don't know, I'm not sure. Actually, cannot remember. The following season, these three came up, these three went back down. So it makes like things like this should not be happening. These three came up, these three went back down, and Brentford have been able to overperform. So that is an example of the manager elevating the club's level because of how good a manager the manager is. It's the same thing that I said. I made reference to Conte. Teslim, I told you we ain't getting Eze, bro. RVT, it's nice to see you here. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Honestly, I'm not really fussed about it. You can go back. Maybe you go to maybe yesterday's video. I think yesterday or day before yesterday. I think yesterday to see what I said about Eze. I get it, but am I really fussed about it? Not really, honestly. I'm not really fussed about it. Honestly, I didn't think he wanted us anyway. I thought he always had his heart set on what's the name of this club? Arsenal. And he's an Arsenal fan. He never really wants to come to Tottenham. Wanted to come to Tottenham. He only wanted to come to Tottenham because Arsenal at the time were not there. If anything, I think he might have even delayed the move, knowing that Arsenal could potentially come in for him, and he wanted Arsenal. And it's going to be very interesting when we play them, isn't it? I just hope that this manager is backed and we have a squad that can go head to head against them to give them a real fight and show him that he made the wrong choice. And I don't really care, but just to prove him wrong. And sadly, I think Arsenal is going to win the league this season. Sadly, but in a world where they don't and they go trophyless again, it is a very interesting conversation, and I would not hesitate. I've never done this before, but I just might to Eze because I don't think I didn't want used to watch football when Sol Campbell did that to us. But it's one thing for you to string along a team, and a lot of people talk about Eze like he's this nice guy. But it's one thing for you to string along a team, like it's one thing for you to reject us from the get go and tell us that you don't want to go, you don't want to come to Tottenham Hotspur. Like, and it's another thing for you to drag us and tell us, oh, yeah, I want to come. Fabrizio is reporting Eze is keen on the deal and whatever he wants to play in the champ. And I said that thing, that the key thing that Fabrizio said was Eze wants to play in the Champions League, not that Eze wants to come to Tottenham. Eze wants to play in the Champions League, and that's why he's interested in Tottenham. I found that very key, the wording of that. And that's the thing. A lot of people need to look at the wordings of these things that Fabrizio says. But I found that very key, and it was clear that this guy didn't want to come to Tottenham. It was clear from the get-go, honestly. And like my manager, we don't want players that are going to come I don't want to come to this club. Same thing as Gibbs White. You string us along just to go and sign a new contract. We don't want players that don't want to come to this club. And that statement, and that's one of the things that's making me fall in love with this man more and more. That statement that he made. Yeah. If you're new here, please leave a like, please subscribe. Thank you to everybody watching. Thank you to everybody that has liked the video. Please subscribe. Please turn on post notifications. All post notifications. I'm here every day, 10 p.m. to 12, sometimes 1, depends on the comments. So yeah. But that's one thing that I found very key about that statement he made yesterday. You come out brave, bold. Fabrizio is posting it on his Instagram saying, "Oh, I don't want players that don't want to come to this club, whatever, whatever." When asked about Gibbs White and Easy, and then you go out there and then you lose, it changes the whole thing because it's like, yeah, you see why players don't want to come to this club, but to go out there without new signings, without really getting much back in, without Son, without Dejan Kulusevski, without Madison, to go out there away against Manchester City, the people that everybody, flavor of the month, everybody was talking about how amazing they looked against Wolves, to go out there and beat them quite comfortably. And the game was over after first half. Second half was just about seeing it through and maybe adding more goals if we wanted or if we could because of our attacking talent. But that in itself, that is why this win for me is so significant. And it makes you see that Savio, there's something Savio has seen in the, or has seen in this team. A lot of people will think this guy is crazy. How would you be leaving Manchester City for Tottenham Hotspur? How would you be doing this for Tottenham Hotspur? It's the same thing as Gibbs White as well. A lot of these players, they are going to regret not coming to this club. And I know this was a statement made by a different manager. But you know that statement where Madison said that Ange told him, "Oh, whether or not you come to this club under me, you're going to see a different Tottenham Hotspur." I think that that is going to be the case with this club, and the likes of Gibbs White, likes of Izzy, are going to, especially Gibbs White. I can understand Iberici because he's feeling his dream, but Gibbs White is going to regret not coming to this club. And I hope. Normally, I want to see the best. I want to see Premier League teams play the best football because it makes the league more interesting and more entertaining, as it's happening now. As you're seeing a lot of very funny results, everybody's beating everybody. But normally, I want to see the best teams do well. But this Nottingham Forest thing is personal. Honestly speaking, it's personal. I understand them wanting the best for their club, but I also want the best for my club. And I love the fact that I'm seeing Nuno potentially leaving and them getting Ange Postecoglou. That would be a joy to watch, wouldn't it? The contrast in the style of play. Which said, "Hope you're doing well, bro. I am doing as well as I possibly can. I've barely been able to sleep. I've barely been able to sleep, but I don't even know. Man. But yeah, I've been playing Football Manager. I I mentioned that I was in Burnley. I was in Burnley, and then I'm smiling because I just saw Kier's comments, but I'm trying not to look at it so I don't laugh and I don't forget what I'm trying to say. Sorry. Um, I was in Burnley, and then I wasn't backed by the board, and then I got sacked, and then I got a job at Sunderland. And currently, last season I entered playoffs. I lost in the playoff finals, and this year I'm trying again to go again, and it's been very difficult because having a small budget is very hard to deal with. Wolves offered me a job. They're in the championship. They offered me a job. They had 110 million budget. But at that point in time, I had already started signing players for this season that I'm in. It's January. January transfer window just or is about to end or just ended now. So we're in January now, going to February. And Wolves had offered me money, a lot of money, which I was found very interesting because Sunderland is not that big a club, so a lot of players are not willing to come. But Wolves, they would have been able to come to Wolves, even though we're in the Champions League because it's Wolves. But the thing is, I'd already signed very good players at Wolves, and I felt like at Sunderland, sorry, and I felt like I could do something here. I was leading the league, but having a striker in the championship is quite difficult when you try to loan players and they don't want to come because they want to play with quality footballers. absolutely shocking and disrespectful to my Sunderland team. But anyways, the match is on to the Premier League by God's grace. I want to grow a team. Fulham also approached me. Funny enough, they barely approach people in FM24, but they approached me. They were 19th in the Premier League, and I was thinking to myself, why would I leave my team that is currently second place in the Championship, potentially going to the Premier League, to go to a team? And now, mind you, if there was even money for me to spend, their budget was like 4.5 million or something crazy. So there wasn't even money to spend. So you have to make do of what you want, what you have. And they're 19th. And I'm like, yo, there's no way I'm leaving this job for that. No way. So I rejected it. But yeah, I found that very interesting. But yeah, back to, okay, let me check the comments. He said, how are you doing? Oh, I just went on a tangent on how I'm doing. So yeah, I watched your live the other day, so I understand your opinion. But I'm thinking now I'm pissed off about Gibbs White. I really think he would have been perfect, underrated. Honestly, Gibbs White was the dream signing for me. Hand on my heart. I'm not even going to come here. And I think I've made that clear to everybody. Gibbs White was the dream signing because he can play as a number 8, he can play as a number 10, he can, and if Madison was available, he would still be able to play as a deep line playmaker, and that person that will be pinging in passes from behind beside Yao Polinia, and that would have been the dream midfield, honestly. With that midfield, you start having conversations of where does this midfield rank amongst everybody, because the balance is there. You have the destroyer, you have the person that also puts in the hard yards, but also is able to contribute attacking wise. Then you have the main attacking guy in James Madison, and that having a Gibbs White there will relieve the pressure of the likes of a James Madison. So unlike on that hand, he's not coming back again. He's staying high up the pitch where you want to see James Madison. It was just perfect. It was just perfect, honestly. So yeah, it's really painful, and that is why right now, I know I've been banging on Akliush, but of recent, I can't lie, Paqueta is looking quite sexy. Like Paqueta in that number 8, he can play number 8, he can play number 10. He's prem experienced. He's his market value has dropped since the whole betting scandal as well. So yeah, and West Ham right now are in absolute chaos right now, as you can see. Their last, and there were some rumors early on about him wanting to leave. Conversations that he spoke with the manager, and now he wants to stay. But if Tottenham must go there, I tell him, bro, come to Tottenham. Look at what we're building. I come there, come and be our number 8. Come there, be our deep line playmaker. Come there, you be the main man, the better team. You're playing with Kudus. Again, we're building a team here. We're building something special under this manager. He can play number 8, can play number 10. He's not young. He's 27. He's a starter for the Brazil national team. Like players like that, it takes us to a whole new level. Do you get what I'm saying? Akliush is a good signing, but I don't think he can play as a number 8. But Paqueta, number 8, number 10, no problem. Do you get what I'm saying? And he elevates our team, gives us the profile that we don't have. A profile similar to a Gibbs White. So yeah, Paqueta currently is the dream. But if we're unable to get Paqueta, then it's Akliush for me. Then maybe Nico Paz. But I feel like Nico Paz could be one of those gems based on the data that I saw. It could be one of those signings that you might not necessarily expect too much from him. But then when you see him play, you're like, wow. Because I didn't think it was anything special. But when I checked the data and then I went to rewatch his highlights, I started to see some things. But yeah, the dream signing for me right now is still Paqueta. Then Akliush. Um, there's Savio on the wing, of course. I've made that very clear. Savio on the left wing, warming my left wing for me. Absolute gem of a player. And I want to see him on my left wing. So yeah, Care, laughing emoji. So I'm sure he was laughing at the whole Forest thing that I said. Nottingham Forest, honestly, the beef I have with Nottingham Forest right now. And I loved Forest. I liked what they were doing. I was very happy for them. I was hoping that they would finish in Champions League, and I wanted to see another Newcastle, but they just keep on pissing everyone off, don't they? And now they've even managed to piss off their own manager. They just know how to piss everyone off, one way or another. And they are becoming the villains of the Premier League. And everybody wants to see their downfall. But I think with people like this, they're like cockroaches. They always find a way to survive. They always find a way to survive, cockroaches. Always find a way to survive. And I think that they in a weird way, have sort of been better each time we hate on them. Crystal Palace fans hate on them, and they, they get their Europa League spot. Tottenham fans hate on them, they keep their player. Um, I wanted to hate on them this season. They go there, they absolutely destroy the team that they played. I can't remember who they played again, but they destroyed them, and they were sitting pretty in the table and still are actually. So yeah, Forest is really pissing me off, honestly. Because and now they've made even better signings. Mikati, the likes of Kalimuendo, Douglas Luiz, and they're only getting stronger, really. They're only getting stronger, which is why it's even paining me more because I'm like, Nottingham Forest, you're pissing me off, Jesus Christ. Just go back down already. But it doesn't look like they're going back down anytime soon, honestly. It doesn't look like that. So yeah, if Forest appoint and they are getting relegated, I think that if they were playing one game a week, maybe not. Like we saw at Tottenham, we're playing in the Europa League, playing in the Premier League, playing in the FA Cup and the Carabao Cup. Definitely they're going down. Definitely. Definitely they're going down. But yeah, that's who they're being linked to. And I would like to see it. I would like to see it. I want Nuno because I really want Nuno to leave that club. Those ungrateful. I don't even want to swear. Very ungrateful people. Jesus Christ, Nottingham Forest. They piss me off. God. And there's this Nottingham Forest fan. God, he's so annoying. That Forest fan TV guy, Wolfie. God, he's so annoying. He gets on my nerves. And I was watching his content like every day during the Gibbs White thing, just so I was just waiting for us to sign Gibbs White so I could type in comments. But we didn't. And then I saw his video again, and I'm like, this guy. And he's friends with some Tottenham YouTubers. And then I see him again, and I'm like, God, this guy pisses me off. Because the way he talks about Tottenham is so derogatory. Jesus Christ. Jesus. So disrespectful. Who do you think you are? Jesus Christ. Even now, watch season, we still won a trophy. I know we haven't won one in a while, but yeah, we still won a trophy. Please. Anyways, football manager, LOL. I used to play that for hours. Used to? What do you mean used to? Why did you stop? That's how I find players. I don't even blame Gibbs White for signing a new leader. Their order is weird, and Gibbs White didn't look too happy. Yeah, he didn't even sign too many. Like the contract was meant to end in 2027. His new contract ends in 2028. I don't like the owner, but nothing versus Gibbs White. But why does Gibbs White come back and apologize to the manager? And the reports were that he had a conversation with Marinakis and he had a change of heart. Maybe he was threatened, whatever, but I don't know. I don't, maybe it was, maybe it wasn't. I don't know. I'm not going to come here. I'm not trying to make any accusations whatsoever, but nobody knows. And I just feel like he could have done more to help us, if you get what I mean. Like, I don't know. I just felt like he could have done more, but maybe that's just me. Yeah, for real. Unless he used us to get a new improved contract. Why apologize to our manager? Why apologize to our manager? Why? Like why apologize to our manager? And why like keep us waiting for 3 weeks? And he never took a stance, he never did anything. Never. It's just weird to me, honestly. And we wasted 3 weeks of our window. 3 weeks that we'll never get back. Same that and that's what pisses me off with this AZ thing. Like he's such an Arsenal guy. He's such an Arsenal guy. And that's like I don't care if he goes to Arsenal, but don't just make it seem like you want to come to Spurs and then go to Arsenal. If you didn't want to come to Spurs, then make it clear. You could have run down your contract and then gone to Arsenal after your contract expired. But don't come here and make it seem like you want us and then pick somebody else. That is just classless, to say the least. Classless. That is a person without class. I don't care what everybody wants to say about his character. That is a classless person as a footballer. Nothing against the human being, like him as a person, but that aspect and doing what he did, classless in my opinion. It leaves a very bitter taste in my mouth, honestly. Very, very bitter taste. And I didn't care and I don't care, but just doing that to us and me already accepting that he was coming, I can't forgive him for that, honestly. I can't. Maybe I will get over it with time, but right now, you really did piss me off. It really did piss me off. But that's fine. He can do whatever he wants to do. And we don't really care. Back to winning ways, back to beating City. and back to winning against relegation for them. Because last season we lost against the likes of Wolves, Everton, Ipswich, and Co. So yeah, it's nice to win, even if it's Burnley and City. Care? Nah, I don't think so. Look at that press interview. I also think that Gibbs' white girlfriend was having a baby, so he probably wanted to not be in a messy situation. And he also called Frank to apologize. That's the thing I'm wondering. Why call Frank to apologize? Apologize for what? You didn't push for the move. You didn't do anything to help us. You signed a new contract. It's one thing for us to not have gotten the player and he didn't sign a new contract. He signed a new contract. He signed a new contract. 1 year or not 1 year, he signed a new contract. He probably got a pay rise. And I don't want to know, like, if you didn't want to come to Tottenham, make it clear. But don't come here and act like you want to come to Tottenham and then not want to come to Tottenham. West Ham won't sell, and Luis Diaz as well. I don't like him as well because he did that exact same thing to us. God. Um, West Ham won't sell Paqueta. I don't think it's about West Ham really. I think that West Ham have to accept where they are right now, and West Ham need money to strengthen the squad. West Ham need money to strengthen the squad, and they won't sell Jared Bowen. But Paqueta, if he tells them he wants to leave and pushes for the move in this last couple of days, I think they would have no choice but to sell him because this is a player that doesn't want to play for you. And you're already in a relegation battle potentially. Do you want to keep players that could potentially not be playing well for you because they are unhappy? Don't know. And if he wants to be crazy, he hands in a transfer request because you can't tell me that. Let me explain something to you about this whole Paqueta thing. And that's why I don't believe in trying to beg somebody to stay. The same thing as relationships, the same thing as friendships. Friendships are types of relationships, but excuse me, the same thing as relationships, the same thing as friendships. If somebody says today, Teslim, I no longer want to be with you, I feel like this is not working out. And I tell the person, oh no, I love you and this, I want you, and the person ends up staying. The reason why that person felt that way might be pushed forward, but they will still feel that way again later on. It's just a matter of time. You've just delayed it. And that's the thing. If you look at Gibbs White, like I said, he didn't necessarily sign a contract. It's only 1 year difference. So he didn't even commit himself to the future of the club, even though he said, oh, I'm committing myself. He didn't really do that. The same thing as the likes of a Paqueta. There were rumors in the last few days that um, he wanted to leave. And you don't tell me that a player doesn't want to leave again because he speaks to the manager. The reason why he wanted to leave was because the team wasn't playing well. He didn't feel like the team could match his ambitions. Probably, as an ambitious footballer, that is probably how he felt. And you can't tell me that a manager talking to a player would suddenly change their mind. There's no amount of talk that Ange wanted to give Harry Kane. He wanted to leave. There's no amount of talk that um, Thomas Frank could have given Son. He wanted to leave. Do you get what I'm saying? So I don't really believe in something like that. Romero, on the other hand, you can sell a project and show ambition. You bring in Kudos, you bring in Paulinia. Okay, there are signs that these people are changing. I signed contract. I'm now the captain. This is a new era. Son has just left. I don't want to abandon the team as well. And the teams that I would like to go to, they are not stopping up the cash. Okay, let me sign my contract to come to Tottenham or to stay at Tottenham and be the highest ever paid player at Tottenham. Do you get what I'm saying? Thank you for the 100. I'm so grateful, whoever that is. Thank you so much. But yeah, little things like that. Like, do you get what I'm saying? But like saying that a player will suddenly change his mind because of you. Why? Whatever is in a human being's mind, human beings have a mind of their own. Whatever is in a human being's mind will not change just because you tell them. So, except they are convinced. And West Ham right now are anything but convincing. So yeah, that's just my take on that. Um, so Care left a sticker. Care, I would like you to give me some context behind this sticker. But yeah, let me go back to the comments. Teslim, I share your opinion. I find it interesting how RVT calls my name, like types my name when he wants to. I'm guessing RVT is a he, by the way. But when he or she wants to talk to me, I find that very interesting. It reminds me of some of my friends, like one of my friends from the UK, Khalid. He's half Nigerian, half English. And he always used to call me Ojibola. That's my Yoruba name, like my traditional Nigerian name. And people like, oh, Jibola, 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 this, Jibola, that, Jibola, that. I find that very interesting. So yeah, Teslim, I share your opinion of first. I like them and their owner before, but not anymore. Yeah, honestly, because I thought Marinakis was showing ambition. A lot of people were laughing at Nottingham Forest when he first came to the Premier League, how much money they were spending and whatever. But it's just a man that wants to win, is how I felt. But seeing how he has conducted himself, not just with this Nuno thing, but also with how he publicly like spoke to Nuno, I think because of the this claimed it was because of the Taiwa Awuni injury and him leaving him on. You could see the player was visibly in pain and whatever. But yeah, like little things like that, disrespecting the manager, considering all the things he had done for this club, not good enough. Not good enough. Then the Tottenham Hotspur team, then the Crystal Palace thing, like there's just too many now, too many. I wish Spurs buy Semenyo as well. I think he's really underrated. Irala has developed him really well. RVT, are you saying that you would take Nelson? No, that's Nelson Semedo. Sorry, Antoine Semenyo over Savinio. Is that what you're saying? Let me know your thoughts on that. But would you take? Who would you rather have in your team? Would you rather have Semenyo or would you rather have? Would you rather have what's his name? Savinho. So yeah. Sorry, give me a sec. I want to quickly do something. Okay. So yeah. Both Madison and Kulu injured at the same time, and both attacking midfielders rejecting Tottenham last minute. Call me crazy, but it's destiny for us to find a world class young AM. These are the type of things I like to see, and that world class AM potentially is going to be either this guy or this guy. One of them is going to be that. Maybe today I should do Savinio, I think. So you prefer, what do you mean Savinio, I think? You would rather have Savinio. Is that what you mean? RVT. You rather have Savinio. So I think I'm going to do a comparison between these two based on their data. Let's even see who is better. I think that would be very interesting. Let me write that down so I don't forget. So Nico Paz versus Al Akliush. Sorry for the confusion. Hello. That's perfectly fine. That's perfectly fine. Is the context of the communication, like, communication through just words is very difficult. There are no non-verbal cues, there's no tone, there's no facial expression, you don't even understand anything. Do you get what I'm saying? So yeah, it's fine. It's fine. I do understand how difficult communication is because, like I said, I studied mass communication in school, so which is probably why I go on tangents a lot to try and explain myself. But yeah, anyways, like I just did right now. But yeah, I think so too, Care. I believe. I want to believe in God. God has a wonderful way of working. And the same thing with Mbemo rejecting us, Semenyo asking price being too high, and then we go out there and we get Kudus. I think it's going to be the same thing. God willing. God willing. Um, so yeah, which other comment is there? Haha, Wolfie, yeah, he's so annoying. But probs for views, so I cannot respect it. I get it if he's making his money, if that's what sells to him, sure. But like a lot of people have been going overboard and insulting him or whatever. I wouldn't go that far. No. Have I had the thought of it? Yes, but I realized I shouldn't let somebody's opinions piss me off that much. Like, I really don't like the way he talks about Tottenham Hotspur, but then there's a background to it. I think his brothers are Tottenham Hotspur fans or something. So he sort of has a hate for Spurs or something like that. But yeah, I don't want to be that kind of person. And it's one thing to have the thoughts, but it's another thing to do it. So I'm very happy that I've been able to sort of control myself and not do that. So yeah, and let myself know, yeah, it's just football. It's just football. It's nothing that deep. So yeah, I just avoid his content instead. Yeah, so that's what I do to help myself as well. Care, no more kids. Hello, that's another interesting take. So I'm guessing from what he's saying, RVT is saying, RVT would rather have Akliush that is 23 turning 24 than Nico Paz that is 20 turning 21 because he's older. I'm guessing. Or in a dream scenario, in a world where it was possible, you probably rather have this young man that is 27 years of age, prime proven, and can play in the 10 and 8. The dream number 10. Look at how different he even looks from them. I don't know, but there's something about him. He's just shining more than all of them. He's just catching my eye more. I don't know. I never knew West Ham had players that were this good. Jesus Christ. Um, I get that average, but there are kids that are class. Exactly. There are kids that are class. And we're going to check who is more class between Aklish and Nico Paz. And if the data is close, then I would rather go for Nico Paz because Nico Paz is 20 years of age. Such a higher ceiling. So yeah. Care. Yeah, true. But we got loads. Loads of what? Kids that are class. No, 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 no. We don't have loads of that. No, 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 no. Which kids that are class? Our kids. A lot of people who hype up our academy so much. A lot of our academy players, where have they been playing League On? I said League On. League One. League what League On, to be fair, but not that League On. League One, Championship, and Co. No, 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 no. No, 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 no. Don't do that. Don't do that. I think there's something to work with, but right now, still a long way to go. Believe me, still a long, long way to go. A class kid is this guy. Let me show you. This guy. This guy. This guy is a class kid. That that right there. This guy. This guy. Is him. That's a class. Um. So yeah. Or this guy. He's not that young, anyways. Let me think of another class kid. Yeah, I can't think of anyone off the top of my head right now. Let me see. In my opinion, West Ham Potter as a manager was the worst choice. I think they could have got loads of better managers. Funny enough, the manager that I felt like they should have gotten and I felt like was the best fit for them, considering where they were, I felt like Lopetegui wasn't very far off David Moyes, football style wise. I thought Graham Potter would be better, but the person that I thought was the best fit for them, funny enough, was Thomas Frank. And I can't even imagine where they would be now if they had gotten Thomas Frank. Thank God. Thank God he's ours. Thank God. Anyways, we're so lucky. We are so lucky. Like this board with this manager have gotten away with murder this year. Absolute murder. And to think that I am pretty sure this year, the likes of Kudus, the likes of Polinia, if not for Thomas Frank, they wouldn't have signed these people. They would have probably gone for Tyler Diblin, Hayden Hackney. So yeah, thank God we have this man, honestly. Thank God. Like my faith in the club isn't in the club. My faith in the club is in the manager. And I want to believe that the club will believe in the manager enough for them to buy into the manager. So yeah. Thank you for the like. Let me to do my own like. Lots of love, smiley face, cheers, shocked face, 100%. I don't even know what that means, but I'm just pressing everything. Um, which other comments is there? Um, but which other managers do you think that West Ham could have gotten except from Thomas Frank? I would like to know which other managers, because you said loads of better managers. I don't think there were loads. But let's see. RVT, let me know. So Care, you screamed, and I asked you for context behind this scream, this sticker, and you gave me none. So I don't know what you were referring to when you did this. We look alike. But yeah, now Savinio, I think. Yeah, rather Savinio. Sorry for the confusion. So Savinio over Savinio. Yep. And I think based on the data as well that we went through where we compared both players, that was what we got as well. I'm just waiting for Tottenham to put in an increased bid for Savinio. You know what? I've been thinking that is there a world where after the game today, City actually starts seeing Tottenham Hotspur as a threat, and City no longer want to sell to Tottenham? Do you think that's possible? And that's what I've been thinking, and that's my fear. Because I've always known that they won't sell until after the game. But considering what they saw against PSG, because the whole world was watching that game, what they saw against Burnley, and what they've seen against City, I think a lot of people are starting to see that Tottenham Hotspur under Thomas Frank might genuinely be something, potentially the real deal, if they are able to get players. And so RVT said, I'm gonna head off now, but I'll be back on the most live likely. Thanks for the live. I think West Ham could have got Tedic or Terzic as an option. Okay, RVT, take care. Thank you so much. I'm very grateful for the support. I'm very grateful. Take care. Have a lovely night. Is 11:42 p.m. here. I don't know what time it is where you are, but have a lovely time and take care. Take care. Take care. Bye bye. Thank you so much. Big up to RVT. But yeah, let me see. So Care said, yeah, I just want to see Joga Bonito on the left. What do you mean you just want to see Joga Bonito on the left? Have you forgotten who Tottenham Hotspur are? Our own Joga Bonito. Bonito, let me check. Brennan Johnson, Ronaldinho, no, Ronaldo, Nazario, yeah, Ronaldo meme. Yes. What do you mean? What do you mean? What do you mean? What do you mean? We have Joga Bonito on the left. This is as Joga Bonito as it gets. And let me show you his twin. His twin. Um, let me show you his twin. Aha. R9. What do you mean? What do you mean? No, let me use this one. Let's zoom in. What do you mean? What do you mean, Joga Bonito? What else are you looking for? You don't watch it? Look at this guy. See this guy right here. Not this one. The main guy. Ah, one of the best players in this generation. What do you mean? Look at that. Joga Bonito. That is as Joga Bonito as it gets. What do you mean? Absolute joke from you, Care. That is Joga Bonito. Care, Levy is forgiving if we get him. Just kidding. If we get Savio, it's not enough for me, honestly. I, I'm very. Uh, I wouldn't say I'm very greedy, but I just feel like this club's transfer policy has left us in ruins, and like the club's transfer policy has left us in ruins, and sorry, what your comment put me off. I saw Coutinho, and I was I'm trying not to look at the other things you said and the other comments. Sorry. So let me change the screen. Let me look at a different screen so I don't my attention is not divided. But yeah, I feel like this club's transfer policy has put us in so much ruins that we have so many holes in the squad. We need, off the top of my head, we need a goalkeeper. And that's a conversation we're going to come back to eventually when we've rectified other problems. We have bigger problems than a goalkeeper right now, but long term, I don't think Vicario is the option. I don't think Kinski is either. I think maybe if you mix the two of them into one, good with his feet and actually good shot stopper, maybe you have the perfect goalkeeper. Maybe, but right now we don't. So I think that is a position we're going to need to revisit eventually. I think we need a left centre back. I think we need a left back because Jet Spence, a lot of people have forgotten he's playing out of position. But I think one signing can rectify both a left centre back slash left back can rectify that. And the left back helps ease the pressure of Van de Ven. I think we need a deep line playmaker. The Gibbs White signing, which is why I'm making noise about Paqueta. I think that's what Gibbs White was meant to do for us. I think we need a number 10 right now. Potentially, some might argue based on Richarlison's injury record, we need a number 9. And I'm talking of 3 years of data, not 3 games of this season that everybody is shouting about him. I'm talking about 3 years. We need a left winger to replace Son as well. So that's left wing, number 9, number 10, number 8, left wing slash left back slash left centre back 5, and goalkeeper 6. And if you even want to stretch it, you want to be crazy, add a left back. So left centre back and a left back, that's 7 out of 11 in the starting lineup. So yeah, I'm very greedy. The only way that I will be able to chill, give me a sec. The only way that I'll be able to look at this window and feel sort of satisfied is if we get, let's say, we do this. Mind you, this guy is still going to be in the starting. Okay, let's keep him in the lineup. Let's just replace this guy. Let's say he's injured now, and we get this guy. So Jet Spence can go back to right back and compete with Pedro Porro, and we do this one. We do maybe even get another midfielder, but maybe that's not necessary. Maybe we do this, and the number 9 market right now is quite dry. So let's say, which other position do I know we need? Maybe a number 8. I can't think of anybody better right now. Oh, sorry. A number 8. If we do 1, 2, 3. Sorry. Sorry. Um yeah. If we do 1, 2, and 3. Sorry, that's 4 actually. That's 4. But if we do 1, 2, 3, this left centre back slash left back, that I think is very important because based on history, and I'm not saying 2 to 3 weeks or whatever, Udogi is always injured. Then so Nkapie, we need a left centre back slash left back. Whereas Nkapie, somebody good enough to compete with this team. Then a number 8 might be me wishing for too much. A number 10, we need, and a left winger is very important. 1, 2, 3. So let's even say we live in a world where we can't get back this guy and we're stuck with Bentancur for now until we're able to get that deep line payment. So yeah, the 1, 2, 3. That is when I'm happy. But except that, if we only get if we only get 1, 2, and it's like this, I'm still not satisfied with the window. And maybe that's just me being greedy, but I feel like there's too much neglect that has been this club, this team has been neglected for too long, and there are so many issues, and I can't just act like there are not so many issues. I'm not talking about Spence clearing Nkapie, by the way. I'm talking about getting a left centre back slash left back so Jet Spence can go here. Like, do you get what I'm saying? It's not about like ability wise. It's about getting somebody that can fill in for Van de Ven or compete with Van de Ven. Do you get what I'm saying? That's what I mean. Like, and also play a left back because Jet Spence is playing out of possession. Position, not possession. Sorry. Um, the sticker represents my face when we end up going down the cheap route and buying Tyler Degree. Thank you so much. What? By the way, it's nice to see you here. Like I said, I asked you, what how this name came about. But anyways, Tala Diblin is I thank God he has gone to Everton. Honestly, I'm very grateful to God that has gone to Everton because Tottenham must keep on getting into him. And Tala Diblin is a right winger. So I don't know why we've been linked to him when we got in Kudus. I think it's just one of those names that the people, these guys, have just been putting out for the sake of putting something out. Um, Let me go through this quickly because it's almost the second hour, so I can quickly do the comparison between Paz and Akliush. Um, Before I go, I don't think Savinio will come to Spurs for many reasons, like City not wanting to sell and we won't want to pay the money. I think we're desperate. I think we're desperate. Thank you so much for the like, whoever that is. I'm very grateful to you. Please, if you're new here, please subscribe. Please turn on post notifications. I'm here every day at 10 p.m. So yeah, I don't just talk about Tottenham. I talk about other clubs as well. So if you want to learn about other clubs, here will be a nice place to be. So yeah, you said yeah, Arsenal wants to pay the money. I think that life is about demand and supply, and the demand for left wingers, for Tottenham Hotspur's demand for left winger right now, a left winger is very high. Oh, this is a new person as well. Diego, it's nice to see you here. And I think you're a City fan. Interesting. It's nice to see you here. Welcome, welcome, welcome to Not London Writers. It's nice to see you. It's so interesting. It's nice to have a City fan here because I have so many things to ask you. Jesus Christ, this stream might go longer than I expected. Now that Diego is here. Hello, Diego. It's nice to see you here. Welcome to Not London Narratives. If you're new here, please smash the like button. Please subscribe and turn on post notifications. I'm a Spurs fan, but I do talk about other clubs. And let me know what you've made about your team, made of your team so far. Because I saw a lot of people talking about City versus Wolves and talking about how City were amazing. I thought there were lots of fragilities in the first half. And when I said that, in contrast to a lot of people felt different based on the popular opinion that was seen in other people's YouTube videos. So I found that very interesting. And I think I was right now that I'm seeing the result of this game. So let me know what you made of your team. And even against Wolves as well, do you think that they were worrying signs? Because Wolves did cut through you guys, but they couldn't finish their chances or they were always offside from what I saw. And then you guys, Tijani, a moment of quality, and then Tijani again, two quick goals, bam, bam, game over. Do you get what I'm saying? So that's what I thought. That's how I felt about the game. So yeah, that's just me, Sha. That's just me. So yeah, Arsenal wanted to pay the money. Yeah, I was talking about demand and supply. Tottenham was demand for a left winger right now is really high, and we really need a left winger. And Savio is an investment in the future, like investment for the future. Sorry, and I think he's a player that, especially considering Thomas Frank's high value XG, seeing what Thomas Frank has done with other attackers, goal outputs wise, is already nice to see that he already has the other things, other makings of a good footballer. Maybe his defensive contribution could improve, and maybe his goal scoring could improve. Yeah, so those two things could improve, but I think that this is a manager that will definitely be able to improve the goal scoring. With the coaches we have, very good coaches, very top coaches that we have, I think that he'll be able to um, improve this guy Savio as a player. And I think that Tottenham Hotspur right now, in the position we are going to pay the money that City are demanding for Savinio. But the thing is, will City want to sell after this game? After we've beaten them, I think people might start looking at Tottenham Hotspur and thinking, Jesus Christ, these guys might actually be onto something here. And like the PSG game, okay, you might have said, okay, it's just PSG. PSG went on fit 1 week of training. The Burnley game, okay, but when you go to City, away from City, and you look quite comfortable away from home, and the game was already done and dusted after first half, and you just go out there and see out the game, which is basically what we did today. Mm, you start looking at them like, oh, is this going to be another Arsenal where we give them Jesus and Zinchenko and suddenly they are propelled to league contenders? Do you get what I'm saying? So, yeah, because now we have a good manager and we've never really had bad players. The thing is, the players we've had have just been used wrongly by the manager. So, yeah, um, or by the managers that we've had. Diblin went to Everton, forgetting Coutinho. How can I forget Coutinho? Let's check for our star boy. Boy, Ah, Star boy, Ghanaian star boy. Literally my neighbors, like country wise, Ghanaian star boy. Anyways, it's nice. I've been to Ghana before, a couple years ago actually. I went to Accra. It's very interesting. It was a school trip a couple years back when I was in like primary school, secondary school, primary school. I think it was primary school. Yeah, I went to Ghana. So yeah, it's been a while. Can't even remember. I think there are lots of places in Africa that I would like to travel to. God help me. I have money. I'm working hard. So yeah. Um lots of places in Africa that I would like to see. Um all we need to do is buy Yamal and put him on the left. We may as well sell Tottenham Hotspur to buy Yamal because by the time we have Yamal, we will not have anything else. It will be Yamal versus the other 11. We even have a home stadium by the time we buy Yamal. And Yamal is a right winger, so Kudus is going to move to the left. Or if anything, if we get a Yamal, we move Kudus to the 10. So we solve our 10 problem and we just get Savi as a left winger. That makes sense. But then we will not have Kudus because we would have sold him as well to get Yamal. Everything we have will sell to get Yamal. Um, Spence, Clares, and Capio, so I've addressed this. I think Spurs will sign Savio next week. I as well. That's the one signing that I've actually been incredibly optimistic about, and I genuinely believe we're going to get him as well as Akliush. Personally, I would prefer Paqueta because West Ham are in disarray. There's been some links about him wanting to go and seeing where West Ham is right now. Would he be wanting to jump ship? I hope so. And Tottenham Hotspur can test the waters there. I think that he's is a World Cup year. He would want to play in a stronger team that could possibly achieve things. His market value has dropped since the whole betting thing as well. He's a very top quality player because he was linked to City. And City just don't go for rubbish. City go for top players. By the way, please, if you're watching and you've not subscribed, please subscribe. Please like. I am 7 away now from 800. I was about to say 1,000 person. Believe in God. But yeah, 7 now away from 100. So please leave a like. Please leave a like. Please leave a like and help me get there. Help me get there from 100 subs. So yeah, what else again? We want Rodrigo. I find this Rodrigo link very interesting because at first I was thinking, oh, Savinho is a left winger. You people have been playing him on your right. If you're selling Savio, why are you selling Savio to get in Rodrigo when Savio was playing on the right? Rodrigo is complaining he doesn't want to play on the right to bring him to City to probably play on the right. But then I realized that you people are also getting rid of, or have also gotten rid of Grealish, and Grealish used to play on the left. So I'm like, okay, there's space on the left. But then Doku, based on what I've seen and from my the videos I've watched, Doku isn't as good on the right as he is on the left. So are you telling me Doku would have to move to the right if Rodrigo is coming? So that's another thing. Like I find that very interesting, and I would like to know what is going through Pep's head. The thing about Doku is, you said I don't rate Doku. He's so bad. The thing about Doku is, I had seen Doku a few times for Belgium in a couple years. Yeah, but I don't think he's as efficient on the right wing as he is on the left wing. And I think that the way City play is so hard, and the way City use him. Let me show you. Let me. I'm not going to die on a hill for Jeremy Doku, but let me just, in his defense, let me show you something. Yeah. So if you see here, he can play left wing and right wing. But let me show you something. Look here at this heat map. A lot of the time, Doku is very close to the touchline. Let me show you his heat map for last season. Is the way City use him. City use him very far away from the goal. So now he's cutting inside and he's skinny. But a lot of the time, how much chances does he actually have to cut inside? Do you know how many people he has to dribble to cut inside? To come, because City always play low blocks. Do you get what I'm saying? So it's so difficult to play as a winger at City, especially when you have the ability of a Doku, where you're so good a dribbler. So they use you to create width for the team. And that's a huge problem. And that affects his numbers. So when you look at his numbers, 3 goals, 6 assists, you're wondering. He has never really been the most clinical, granted, but like it's very hard to play for City. It's very, very hard to play for City. Do you get what I'm saying? So yeah, like even for Belgium, when I used to watch him, or when I first noticed him, sorry, no, when I used to watch him, there's no time I actually actively used to watch Belgium. Um, when I first noticed him, I noticed that it was all skill, no end product, so it was still very raw. There was something to work with, but it was still very raw. But the way City use him, mm. And if you look at a lot of the shots he takes a lot of shots from outside the box. When he cuts in, he cuts. Let me go back to the heat map so I show you. If you notice, Doku will cut in here and then be shooting from here, from this type of range. From this type of range, it's very difficult for you to score from that type of range. So yeah, um, let me see. Hi, our defense is so bad. I think we're getting Donnarumma. I can't see Trafford as our number one. I think that's very harsh as well. I think that's very harsh. Like after one bad game, I don't think that City was anything special. And if anything, I feel like he was very good against Wolves. And Tottenham Hotspur just were better than City today. It's as simple as that. Like I don't really think it was just Trafford. I think it wasn't just Trafford. And I think that a lot of City fans are excited about Gigi, but Gigi isn't necessarily the what they call it. Oh god, I'm looking at the comments, so I'm getting distracted. Gigi isn't necessarily the this amazing goalkeeper that everybody thinks he is. Yes, he's a good goalkeeper, but he's not complete. He has his flaws as well. Some people, as tall as he is, some people complain that he's not as commanding aerially as he should be for his height. Also, Gigi isn't very good on his feet. He's able to get away with that because of City, PSG, how they play, and the league they are in, and because he's a top goalkeeper as well. But when you move him to City and the Premier League and seeing what we did to Manchester City today, pressing them seriously, Gigi doesn't fit what Pep is trying to do there, and it makes no sense to me, in my opinion. As a goalkeeper, yes, but like as a Manchester City goalkeeper, no, it doesn't, in my own opinion. But yeah, that's just me. That's just me. If Pep thinks otherwise, who am I to debate it? So yeah. Um, what else? What else? And I find that very harsh because Trafford was coming in potentially as a number one, and now already he's going to number two. And he spoke about how he would only come to City if he thought there was a chance of him being number one. So yeah, that is very sad for him, and I feel bad for him. You're probably wondering how I know all this. So I follow an Instagram page of the top nine clubs. So I sort of see news of every club. So yeah, I know a fair bit about some clubs. Oh yeah. Um our defense is so bad. I think I've gone over that. I think Savio bid can happen probably next week. Pep really wants Rodrigo. I don't know how he rates Doku over Savio. I don't think it's about him rating Doku over Savio. I think they've made it clear that Savio is the one that wants to leave because Savio wants to be the main man at the team. Savio wants to play on the left wing, and is a World Cup year coming up. He feels like he could be that human son replacement at Tottenham Hotspur. He could really feel like the main man again, like in Girona, and that would really help him. He could really grow under Thomas Frank. Is a new project, and he knows he will start every week at Tottenham Hotspur as well. And I think for his first season in Premier League, he did quite well. Um, and we know that Pep doesn't necessarily like keeping somebody that doesn't want to be at the club. I think the only person that I know that has been rumored to leave, maybe De Bruyne last year, and he kept, and Bernardo Silva for the last couple of years, and he has kept. And I think that there's no smoke without fire, which is what I'm saying. Might have wanted to leave, but he has kept. Or majority of the time, if you want to leave, you can go. Um, I don't rate Doku. He's so bad. Okay, I've spoken about this. Doku used to play right wing in league. Oh, yeah. I think you're right. From what they said here, Doku can play on the right and on the left. And if you look at his average match rating as well, it's not even bad. This is match rating over the last 12 months. And he's not the most prolific goal scorer or assistant. But if you look at a lot of sevens, green is seven. A lot of sevens. So you know what I'm saying? It's not bad. Like it's not bad. Um Do you think you will get Savio? I think you guys will get him. He'll cook for your team. Honestly, before today, I was very confident that we'll get Savio. But after today, considering we beat City, and I feel like City might feel like, okay, let's not sell him. Tottenham Hotspur look like a threat. Potentially. I don't know, but I don't know. I don't know why I have that feeling, but I do. I don't know why, but I do. So yeah. Um, Thomas Frank could turn Savio into a weapon. Honestly, having Savio and Kudus, hey, you will better be worried. You will better be worried. We are nine. Where is he? A Brazilian number nine. Where is my number nine? Where is he? No, no, not this one. His brother. No, no, not this one. Um, this one. R9. See this guy? Yeah. The reason why he plays so well for Brazil is because at Brazil, they tell Richarlison, you don't need to do this, you don't need to do that. Just stay in the box and score. And having the likes of Savio and Kudus that can create for him, and potentially Akliush, I think he would really help elevate Richarlison's game. Because now Richarlison's responsibilities reduce and he will primarily become a goal scorer. So yeah, even Solanke as well. He played his best football at Bournemouth while he was primarily used as a goal scorer. So yeah, um, so yeah, I think he would really be good. We have no right back, so yeah, I spoke about that as well. Like City need a right back. They've been linked to, um, they've been linked to Livramento, but I don't think that Newcastle will let him go except you pay big, 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 big money. And I don't really know any right back on the market right now. But City scouts, well, I haven't really checked to be fair, but there should be somebody for you guys to be able to go out there and get. Rico Lewis shouldn't be playing for City. Honestly, I think he's too small, like physically, and I feel like his technical ability isn't like his brain isn't like a Bernardo Silva or a Luka Modric, where even though they're so small, they're just still so good. Do you get what I'm saying? But I feel like Rico is just so small. There are a lot of times I see him almost like lots of times, and he's just so small, especially for a position like right back, where you're going up against defenders, like sorry, wingers. Sorry, I don't know. I just feel like he's so small. Um, I feel Pep wants a short stopper because our defense ain't good enough. That's another angle. That's another angle. But how does he now do the on the ball stuff? Because it looks like he's still doing on the ball stuff with his goalkeeper. And Gigi is 26 now. It sounds like he has been around for a minute. I think Gigi started playing when he was 16 or 17, like starting as a goalkeeper. Let me check. When did Donnarumma start for Milan? What what age? 16. Yeah. Yep, I was right. 16. He started he started keeping for them at 16. That good. It was that good. 16 or 17. I knew it was 16 or 17. Something crazy like that. So it sounds like he has been around for like forever. Um, Richarlison is actually on form. It's good competition for Solanke. I agree with you, Care. I agree that Richarlison is on form and is good competition, and it's good to have two strikers that might not be the best, but it's nice to see when they are pushing each other. That would take both of their games to a whole new level. But yeah, last thing I want to do now is I want to do a comparison between um Alkiush and Nico Paz. So let's do a comparison. So let me open another tab. Share this tab instead. So attacking midfielders slash wingers. New chat. Mm, okay, so let's see who's better or what. This is the last thing I'm probably going to do today. But if you want to ask me any other question, you guys should let me know in the comments. If you're new here, like I said, please leave a like, please subscribe on our way to 100 subs. And I'll be very grateful if you can help me get there. And liking helps the video because it helps push it to other people, and then other people can discover my channel, and then you contribute to the growth of the channel basically. So thank you so much. Thank you so much for the likes. I'm very grateful to every single one of you who has liked, and to the new people who have subbed today. I think before the stream today, I think I had like 88 or 89 subs, and I have 93. So thank you to everybody. I'm very grateful to you guys. Um, so yeah, let's see. Their scoring ability. Nico Paz is giving 4 star. He's the better finisher. Good late runs into the box. And Akliush is 3 stars. Creates shots, but inconsistent finishing. Creativity, Akliush is way better. Excellent passer, and we saw him also destroy Eze in these things as well. Jesus Christ, I don't even need to go into the data, but I'll go into it just because of the sake of everybody. But from these visuals, I can already tell who is the better player. Jesus. But mind you, Nico Paz is 20 years of age. Actually, which is 23. But yeah, creativity, not a high level creator yet. I find that very key. Yet. Akliwish is 5 star, excellent passer, elite playmaking numbers. Ball progression and carries, good ball carrier, is improving. Akliwish is 5 5 5, very strong in progression into the final third. Defensive work rate, solid pressing and tracking. Wow, and I thought from the stats you can see that Nico Paz works hard, very hard defensively, but it seems like he's better than him at it as well. Strong tackling numbers, aggressive presser, incredibly interesting. Area deals, so Paz is way better in the air. Like I said, Paz can also play in number 9 as well, so that's very interesting. So stronger for him. So overall, you give Nico Paz a 3.5. So his goal scoring is good. Physical, yeah, he's physical. He has a box presence. He's still developing as a creator, so he's very raw. Magnus, on the other hand, 4/5, creative playmaker, progressive passer, press resistant. Oh, things you like to love to hear, but lacks finishing and area strength. And Magnus, I believe, is 6 feet tall, but don't worry. Under Thomas Frank, there is no way, my brother, there is no way you will not learn how to. There is no way you will not learn how to head the ball. Because in this side, you must defend 6 feet tall. Yeah, 6 feet tall. So yeah, there's no way you will not learn how to defend. So yeah, yeah. So yeah, I think I was right about wanting Magnus. So yeah, Magnus, Savio, and Capie, and maybe I'll be a happy man at the end of this transfer window. But anything less than that, not so much, honestly, because we still have a lot of gaps. And one injury to Van de Ven, and it's Kevin Danso playing there. Dragishin had an ACL injury, so potentially Vuskovic or Takai or Ben Davies. Yes. We're back to square one again. Do you get what I'm saying? So yeah, if you're new here, please leave a like, please subscribe. Welcome to Not London Narratives. Turn on post notifications. I'm here every day, 10 p.m. So yeah, please leave a like, please subscribe. And like I said, I'm here every day, 10 p.m. I'm writing this, so I go to Football Banter to text him on his channel. He has said he would like to do a live with me, so I'll go and talk to him privately. Thank you, Football Locker, for your comment. Thank you, What, for your comment. Thank you, Care, for your comments. I'm very grateful to you, Care. Thank you, RVT, for your comments. I'm very grateful. I didn't see Shanta here today. Maybe it was here. I don't know. Maybe he didn't just comment. Maybe it was just quiet today because we're not talking about easy. Shanta is always so engaged when you're talking about Izzy. Thank you for the like. Thank you for the like. Thank you for the likes. Diego, it's nice to meet you. Nice to see you here. Welcome to Not London Narratives. Thank you for your comment. And yeah, I guess that is everyone. So yeah, thank you guys. Thank you so much. I'm very grateful to you all. Thank you to everybody who subscribed. And if you're new here and you've watched this far, please leave a like, please subscribe, please turn on post notifications. I'm here every day, 10 p.m. So take care, guys, and bye bye. Have a lovely night. Take care, guys. Au revoir.